Bonita. Bonnie. Boss is sitting down. All right, welcome guys, welcome. We're looking to trade US30 this morning. Based on the market, look, we are trying to get this counter trend trade for ourselves. Back to this level right here. As you can see, the market moving already, so what? Screen block. Okay, so what we're basically waiting on is waiting for this candle to close. Waiting for the 10:30 candle to close. I don't know what's going on with Discord. All right, so you can see now we're getting pullback. We're getting the pullback that we need. So you can see now we're getting that pullback. We got 5 more minutes. You can see now we're getting that pullback. We got 5 more minutes. You can see now we're getting that pullback. All right, so when this candle close, what we need some pullback. So it depends on where we get the pullback. We're going to take profit right at this week. And bear in mind, guys, this is a counter trend trade because we're in a bullish market. Our US30, you don't want to risk too much. So you have to be. So I would say if you trade a $100 account, you can do a 0.01. If you trade in anything above $100, you can do a 0.02. So basically, waiting on this 9:30 can go to close, and as you can see, we're on the 30 minutes time frame. So what we need is for the next candle, wherever this one close, to then open, give us some pushback to the upside, and then give us a wick, and then make its way back down to fill this wick. And then when we enter, wherever it closes, our stop loss go above that said wick. Now, if you get stamped out, then you would, if you want, it's up to you. You can reposition yourself and enter again. But for me, once I get stamped out, that's it. I'll take the same approach tomorrow. So it won't be your strategy is wrong, or we're not doing something right. It is just that the market will always do what the market want to do. So you just don't want to be emotional about that. And that is why you take your risk in consideration. So based on account size, you should be able to take 10 losses before you blow your account. And it is impossible for you to take 10 losses. If you lost 10 times, then something is wrong. If you're trading and you lost 10 times, something is wrong. Or you're doing something wrong. So the aim is to protect your capital, guys. I don't know what's going on with Discord this morning. All right, so we got 1 more minute on this candle. Now remember, now when the 10 o'clock candle comes in, if you don't get no pullback, then you won't enter the trade, because it's a strong possibility that the market might tank down a little, and then that pullback will never give you that move that you want. So you might see the next candle open and just continue pushes down, and then it pull back and break back this run psychological level. So that's a nice drop right here. So see the next candle open. So what we need now is some pullback to the upside. Yep, there we go. Set an alert. So you're getting the pullback right here. So you can get your position ready for entry. So what we need now is the market to come back down here. Let me take this on. Think about alert. I need to take this alert out. It's not this one. I think it's on YouTube. All right, so we're still waiting on that pullback, guys. Patience is a game, no rushing. USD JPY. Need to take off this on. There we go. All right, so there we go. Price going back down. So we're gonna look for an entry right below this candle. And our stop loss is gonna be right above this wick. And this is where patient comes in. All right, there you go, alert. So once you get this alert, you know where price is getting back down. So if you had entered this trade already, guys, you would have been in drawdown. And this is where frustration comes in when you're trading. So the aim is to just wait patiently. Wait for this pullback. Then we're going to take our entry. So once we get that alert triggered, we're going for sells. So once that alert triggers, guys, we can enter the trade. Waiting on price to get back there. Should have US30 on this today. All right, so see price still above this level. Let's look on trading view. See? So imagine if you enter this trade, guys. See, this is where the stress comes in trading. When you're not patient. You have to be patient, wait on the market to get back to fill this candle. And this is where we're going to take our entry. Patience is a game. And in most cases, Mondays are very aggressive with US30 and NAS. So the fact that we have that huge rush to the upside last week, Friday, we're in a buying market, guys. So remember that. Buyers still love US30 this morning, so we have to be patient and wait for our entry. While it's doing that, you guys can sip some water. So you got that use push. So you got a push back, guys. Just imagine if we had entered already, we would have been in drawdown. See, still pushing back. And would have got stamped out. Just imagine if you had entered this trade based on your ego or your emotions. See, let me put the candle so you guys can see. You would have gotten stamped out. See that? But when you patiently wait for price to come back here, then that is when you enter. Now, this is a nice break and retest. If we are in a lot of people will take entries right here because we break the 50,000. You see that? We break the 50,000 and then retest it. So a lot of people would have entered right here. See? So now price going back down. So a member of my team just asked me, why are we selling in a buyer's market? That's a good question. Remember I said earlier that we're doing a counter trend trade, right? So even though we're in a buyer's market, yes, we have a nice gap right here. You can see this gap that the market created yesterday when it opened. However, the market break this gap and retest it. Perfect. See that? Retest it perfectly right there. See that? So Once the market take this gap out, today is Monday, you can clearly see that the sellers took the market from right there. So remember now, persons who buy US30 last week, most of them probably got in here or at this level. Most of them probably got this breakout on Friday and get out of the market. So these persons probably, I would say probably 10 or maybe 15% of them get out the market. Um, they could be last night when the market opened. They got an advantage with this huge gap, but most persons get out this position. Most of these buyers got out the market. So what the market is doing now is basically rallying, or some people say retrace, back to the downside to reintroduce new buyers to then take price back above 50,000. So in most cases, when you start to take a new high, it's not gonna just continue to keep going and going and going like a Duracell battery. No, it's gonna have to rally. Most markets have to retrace in order to introduce new buyers in the market. And this is why we have to be patient, guys. That was a good question. Why are we selling in a buyer's market? But like I mentioned earlier, it's a counter trend trade because the market have to rally to then reintroduce buyers in the market. So right here, this is our exit point, but we're not gonna ride the trade all the way down here. This system that we're using now is for a 1 to 2, or in most cases, some traders do a 1 for 1. So if they're risking $100, they make $100. But we just basically target back the low of this 930 wick on the 30 minutes time frame, basically. So price still lingering above. So we have to just wait. So once we get the alert right here, then we can take our entries. Now, like I said, most people would have taken an entry right here, but the risk will basically be the same. See? Because you put your stop loss above that wick right here. So it's basically be the same wick, the same risk, sorry, if you're the seller, right? And if you sell here, see, the risk is a little tighter, but I would sell right here. I wouldn't take a sell right here because if the market comes back right here, we can then break above the 50,000 range again. Now, if it does that, see, like it's doing now, then simple, we just won't take the trade. It's as simple as that. But I would not buy this market now because this gap was broken. So the sellers basically came back in aggressively, as you can see. So we have to just do what the market is showing us and not what we want the market to do. So again, right here, this is where we're going to take our sells. And again, we are targeting this week. So it all depends on how the market react. We can risk a little less. So we don't have to go back up here for our risk. What we can do, we can minimize our risk for a 1 to 2. So let's see how this market plays out this morning. We just have to wait, guys. Still got fluctuation price still lingering right here. If this market keep falling for this week, it's just to keep creating lows, higher lows and lower lows. See? Once you get back in this zone right here, which was a strong rejection here. Like I said, you can see price then take back off and start creating new highs up to the upside. So we're still waiting. So the thing with trading, guys, what you have to understand, you can turn up for trading, wait patiently for your setup, and guess what? Nothing happens. But the good thing about it is that you were man enough or woman enough to walk away from the chart without executing because the market didn't give you what you wanted, or the market didn't confirm all of your, your systems that you work with, which is your confluences. If all of your confluences are not met, and you walk away from the screen, leave the computer and say, okay, then that's it, I'm done for the day. That's when you win. You're leading the market. The market is not leading you when you do that. So that is why we have to be patient, guys. Like I said, we can wait here and it just don't play out. We can see where the market just keep going up. Great. I want to buy this market to go back in this gap right here. We're gonna need more buyers in the market for that. And our best bet to get more buyers is from this level right here. See price coming down. So you can see the selling pressure is in the market. Let's look at NOS. So you can see NOS still up by 0.38%. So if you guys look at NOS, you can see where NOS basically work with the system this morning. See that? So NOS close right here and see what next candle did. A little pullback, push up. Because what you have to understand, guys, with NOS is currently bullish because NOS been break the old high. US30 literally just break the old high, which was Friday. So NAS and US30 is basically on two different paths right now. Normally they are moving together, but they're basically off in regards to direction now. So see, the system literally plays out on NAS. If we're trading NAS this morning, it would have been in this, but our focus is on US30. You see that? So we would have entered right here. Stop loss would have been underneath this way. But I love the fact that US30 break this EMA very strong. And this is what happens most of the time, guys. If you look at NAS 100, in most cases, when NAS get to a rejection zone, whenever it reacts, US30 react also. So if we're in this trade on NAS, we would have got out right here. So see, guys, so see the market still going up. So there's a possibility that we won't trade this morning. All right, guys. So our system never played out this morning, but Nas did perfectly with our trading system. So we're gonna wait for the next 30 minutes candle. You can see we broke back above the 50,000 round psychological level. So it's more like that next candle gonna open above it. So I think what US30 gonna do is to retest this gap right here. Gap that we created right here. Now US30, sorry, probably gonna retest it to then continue to the downside. All right, so whilst we wait on that, so let's look at the currencies. All right, so for US, I like USD JPY. As you can see, on USD JPY, we got this huge push from this strong area of interest, where we got one touch, two touch. This make three, and we also have a touch right here. So this was a very strong void area of interest. You can see we got one touch right there. Then we got another one right here. Then we got another one right here. So this is a trade I'll definitely have interest in for later. So I'm definitely gonna send this trade out tonight. Once it meets all our criteria, I'm gonna send this one out tonight for ourselves. And this is USD JPY. And there's a next one also of my iron. What was it again? Let me see if I can pull it up. I also have my iron. Wait a minute, guys. Let me see if I can find this one. USD JPY. Oh, Euro USD. I also have my iron Euro USD for buys. And as you can see, Euro USD give us this nice push to the upside, very strong candle. And you can see where the buyers also take off from a strong area of interest, where we got one touch right here, another one right here, and another one right here. And price broke, came back and retest this here to then go to the upside. So remember I always said, guys, and we never want to execute a trade on Sunday night. We have to wait for Monday to close to show us exactly where the market is heading, and that's when we will execute, right? Whenever we get that entry signal, this evening or pre-landing session tonight. But I will definitely send this trade up. So, like I said, I like this one, Euro USD. Let me put a highlight on that. I also like USD JPY. So one for sells, one for buy. So what I will need for this candle to do when the market closes today is to close like this, where we got this huge push to the upside, and then the market give us some retracement, leaving a wick just like this. This is one of my A-class setup. And then Tuesday now, we will then fill this candle back to the upside. So this is what I want today. I want the market USD to close just like this. So this candle, I need it to close just like this. That is why I put this alert right here, so I can, get the alert whenever this retracement start coming back. So this is what I need for on Euro USD. For USD JPY, what I then need on this one, another A-class setup, is when we get a nice bearish candle to the downside. then a retracement, leaving a strong wick, and then we will then fill this wick to Monday evening or Monday night, Asian session, go right back to Tuesday. And that is why my interests are set on these two pairs. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on this one for later. So US30 never gave us what we wanted. You can see where US30 broke back to the upside. Now that was a good question. Ms. Fisher asked, why are we selling in a buyer's market? That was a good question. And like I said, you notice the market broke this strong gap that we had when the market opened. Now this market retraces, but this is the thing, guys. If this was a retracement to here, if we had retraced to this strong rejection zone, which was resistant, and pretty soon I'm expecting this to be support, where we'll get price back to this level to then take off back, right? So if you notice, when price came here, there is nothing to support it. You see that? There's nothing. See that, guys? So why would we want to buy from this huge push, go this runs like this EMA right here, and then to go back up? Why would you want to buy this market? I wouldn't buy it, but I mean, somebody else would take that risk, then be up to them. Like I said, we don't control the market. What we saw was selling pressure this morning. So our best bet was to go for sales. Now this is a huge move, and normally you don't want to chase the market. You don't want to be chasing price. So if the market don't align with your system, I'm advising you, do not take the trade, right? Because if we had sell right here without proper confirmation, this is what would have happened. We would have taken a loss. So the fact that we have avoided a loss this morning, I still see that as a win, and I still see that as a productive morning until we get back on the chart tomorrow morning again. And for persons who's gonna join us later on silver, we're gonna scalp silver. You are free to do so. So as you can see, guys, we're testing this level right here. So that's it, guys. Anybody have any question, you can always text me and we can discuss it later or whenever you guys are free. All right. So thanks for joining the live this morning. As you guys can see, what we expected never played out this morning. So therefore, no trade. And we'll meet up tomorrow again.